My name is Valentino Ferreira. I'm the owner of the Martini Shop and All Access Staffing. We're an event services company. What we do is we do bar catering, event staffing, and event management. Well, I was a bartender in New York for about 10 years, working at different bars in New York, and my company is called the Martini Shop. What we do is basically we bring the craft cocktail to the home party. I started working at a bar in New York called Pravda back in the late 90s, which is always funny to say the late 90s, but it's true. We started, it was in the late 90s, and basically it was one of the first craft cocktail bars in New York. We did everything with fresh juices. We made cocktails the old-fashioned way. We never used simple syrup. I mean, we used simple syrups and lime juice and things and herbs and things like that. Going back, digging into the cocktail books from the 1800s. And so it was a team of very knowledgeable bartenders that really understood how to make classic cocktails from the original way. So when I got to Los Angeles, Los Angeles before it was in the early 2000s was still kind of almost a culinary backwater, where today it's sort of changed. It's sort of changed now. Now the culinary scene is sort of taken over in Los Angeles, where chefs are creating and bartenders are creating, and so now there's an outbreak of what they call the craft cocktail bars all over Los Angeles, between craft beers, between the cocktails, and what they call the gastro pubs. And so what I wanted to do, and I had this idea, I was like, I want to bring this concept, these amazing cocktails, to the home party. I've been working at doing catering to pick up some money as an actor, and I was always just disgusted with, the limited bars that I would have to work with. And I was like, that there was nothing to make cocktails with, really. We could make a rum and coke, you can make a gin and tonic, but you couldn't really get into making a Moscow Mule, or you couldn't make a Sazerac or any of the popular, well, they weren't popular cocktails, but the craft cocktails, to be able to show your guests something a little different. So I had an idea. I needed some money. I bought a house, and I said, hey, I need to make some money. So I said, why don't I just do this idea? And so I started slowly doing that. And what happened was that the people started really loving the bartenders, and they said, hey, do you have servers? And I was like, yeah, I got servers too. So I started hiring servers, and we started branching out and becoming a staffing company very quickly. And so I then basically wanted to maintain the idea of bringing this wonderful cocktails, but also having excellent service. And those are the two things that I think are very important to me. Those are the things I think if anybody goes around in this city, or in a lot of cities, and you find that service is something that is lacking. And I figured that would be my brand. My brand would be excellent service. Because I wanted to have people to have an event. When somebody puts an event together, it costs a lot of money. You're spending a lot of money to put an event together. Whether you're doing it at your home party and your event costs you $1,000, that might be a lot of money to you. Or if it's a huge, multifaceted event where it's $40,000, $50,000, that's still a lot of money. Whether that person is spending the company's money or they're spending their own money, they want an excellent party to come out of it. And that's what we do. We're as part of being in the party business, we want to bring excellence to it. And so, for me, it's really important for staff to have the number one tool above anything else, above knowledge or anything else, is their smile. You've got to come onto an event. You've got to smile. I've been going on events, and sometimes I'm at other people's events, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing, the staff is kind of, crumbling along, and they're, not happy to be there, and they're thinking about their pictures and resumes and whatever else. Part of what I tell my staff is it's really important that, you need to come there and bring your A game. Treat this as if this was your mother's event, or your cousin's event, or your aunt's wedding, or your sister's bar mitzvah, or bat mitzvah, I should say. Or whatever it is. Treat it as if this was something that was really important to you. Because we want to bring that excellence. We want to bring that sense of people enjoying what they're doing. So, I mean, if a fork drops on the floor, I want somebody there with a clean fork ready to replace it right away. And so the same thing with the bar. The bar to me is I'm very particular about my bartenders. I sometimes almost to a fault. I want to hire the best of the best. I want to hire people who really, really care about making cocktails, because to me this is not just a job, it's an art. You know, when you can find an herb or a spice, and you can make it to pair it with what's being served on a meal. I go out to a lot of the cocktail bars around town, and I give everybody their credit. There's a cocktail that I love that comes from the Roger Room, that is over in La Cienega, and they do a cocktail called the Tijuana Brass there. And it's a simple cocktail, but it's an amazing cocktail, and it has the wow factor, because it's made with tequila, it's made with agave nectar, it's made with fresh lime juice, and then we top it off with cucumber foam. And that's a wow factor. When people see that cucumber foam come out on top of there, it's like a pastry. So, you know, those are the type of cocktails that we like to bring to the home party, because it's not just the ones that I'm creating. People are going out and they're enjoying, and they're like, oh, I had this at such and such a party. I couldn't make this at home. I didn't know what the recipe was. I'm so glad to have this here. And so for me, it's really important that we bring that out. And also, as I talk to my bartenders, I want consistency. I mean, we do everything with measurement. We're like cocktail chefs when we cook. I mean, and I call it cooking because we're cooking these cocktails up. Everything has to be exact. The measurements need to be exact, so that the cocktail that the person had at their friend's party, and that's why they hired us, is the same exact cocktail. Whether I'm there or one of my other bartenders is there, I want it to be exactly the same. And so I also give the bartenders some freedom. I put a little thing on the menu called Bartenders Choice. And so they can go and they can pick up their own herbs and spices and fruits and fresh juices and whatever they want to mix it with. And so that they can offer that also out to guests and say, oh, well, you know what? Let me have the bartender's choice. And the bartender might ask him, well, what's your poison? Would you like vodka? Would you like gin? Would you like rum? Would you like bourbon? Would you like an aromatic flavor, or do you want a sour flavor? Do you want something sweet? And they can create a cocktail on the spot for the person right there. So that's part of what we do, with the magic of what we do, is being able to offer people something a little different. You know, it's something to have a specialty cocktail, and a lot of companies are doing specialty cocktails right now. But to bring a mixologist to an event is something special. We did an event last Christmas for Kate Hudson, and we got out there and we were mixing up the cocktails for her, and I made this cocktail called the Basil Lemon Drop, which is actually one of the top sellers on my cocktail list. And she had that, and she just went nuts. And I think I don't think we bought enough basil that night, because everybody at the party had to have a basil lemon drop after that. So I remember one point at the party, that was like a AAA list party, and Leonardo DiCaprio comes up, hey, what are you making there? Is that a mojito? Let me get one of those. So the basil lemon drop, I'll hook you up, Leo. You know, and so it was so people love it. It's a special. What we do is we're really a specialty company. Some of the other things that we do with this company is we do event management, and so I like to take a party from beginning to end. I ended up doing event management on default. A lot of people are, you know, especially now, are trying to do events on a budget, and so they may not hire a party planner. They may not hire a wedding planner. I've had to jump in as the de facto wedding planner at weddings in the last minute to get the event going. And so I have a team of people, and we go out, we do event management, so we can take your event from the beginning to the end successfully. Once again, always applying that philosophy of excellence in every area of the event. Because we want to, and I have to always reiterate this, because service to me is the best and most highest thing that we can do. We want to be of service. We want to be of service. We want to serve you at the highest level and enjoy it. And so that's why I find people, even when I hire people, I don't just hire them like anybody off the street. I put a notice out there. They have to take an online quiz. They then have to follow a few other directions. My office is not the easiest place to get to on the planet. I give them the address, and I want to see if they can get there, because I want people that are able to think and be able to come to an event and think 3 steps ahead and say, oh, right, okay, yeah, there's a piece of paper on the floor. I should pick that up now. There's, this people over here look like they need some help. There's some elderly folks, let me help them in. You know, if somebody says, where's the bathroom? You know, I don't want them to go, oh, the bathroom's over there. I want them to take them by the hand, literally, and walk them to the bathroom. Because that's part of service. And that's part of what we're trying to exemplify here at the Martini Shop. We also go, the other side of the company is called All Access Staffing, because we also handle the staffing side. So the Martini Shop, just to break down the two different companies, All Access Staffing is an event staffing company. So if you call All Access Staffing, you'll be able to get a bartender, you can get a server, you can get a chef for your private party, for your special event. The Martini Shop is a full-service bar service company. So we bring everything down to the last ice cube for your bar. We bring the bar, we bring the liquor, we bring the cocktail menus, we supply the bartenders, and we set what I like to do is I like to set the bar up and make it look like a science lab. So if you ever go on our website, you could see that the imagery of everything is in glasses, and the fruits in glasses, and I do a lot of specialty simple syrups. I'll do a ginger simple syrup, I'll do a lemongrass simple syrup, I'll do a lavender simple syrup, because the simple syrups give another flavor, another texture to the cocktail. So the preparation before, it looks like when we show up to a party, it's like, oh, this is great, but it's 8 hours of preparation, because I'm at the farmer's market in the morning buying the right products, buying the right fruits and vegetables. I'm then back at the kitchen creating and designing the cocktails, and then there's of course the testing, which is always good times, but you got to do it to make sure that the cocktail is exactly what it's going to be, and then the measurements, and then going over with the staff and talking to them in detail what the cocktail is. I like to always, like I said, I like to tailor what we're serving to what the caterer is serving at the event. So if it's Italian, I'm going to find Italian liqueurs. I'm going to try to find Italian vodkas. I'm trying to find classic Italian cocktails. If it's Spanish, I'm going to find, you know, we're going to find things. I might bring Spanish cava to the event, or pick the type of pick Spanish wines. I know if it's Mexican, obviously we'd love to do, you know, full out like tequila bar with all different types of tequilas from, you know, different regions, and mezcals, bringing in different tequila cocktails. There's a cocktail at a restaurant called Rivera downtown called the Barbacoa, which is basically a cocktail that's made with beef jerky. And it's delicious. And people go, oh, beef jerky. And I was at first offended when I had drank that cocktail, but I had the cocktail. It was amazing. It's one of these amazing cocktails. So it's one of those things, it's like you have to invite the guest to enjoy. And so the Martini Shop brings everything that's needed. I like to really deal with the client one-on-one. When you give me a call, I like to talk to you and go into detail about your party, and go into all facets of the party. Because I want to make sure that everything is going to work together, that's going to come together. So I've taken a lot of people by the hand and helped them get through their event. Yes.